Let's hear today. Julie and Milo show is coming your way on past.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is April 7th, 2022. Welcome to the Julie and Milo show. My name is Julie Nguyen. I'm coming to you from Orange County, California. My dear friend, Milo. Milo, if you could please say hello.
Hey, how you guys doing? It's Milo from Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you, Milo. Today in the Julie and Milo show, we do have one guest here, a special guest who is joining us today. Cynthia Brown is one of our supporter from the very beginning, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the special trip that she was also part of it. And thank you so much, Cynthia, for making the time and work around our schedule to be here with us. We appreciate you. Would you please say hello to everyone?
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Cynthia Brown from Philadelphia, PA.
Pretty cool.
All right, Cynthia, let's jump right into the questions. We're just going to get started right away. So tell me, what was it like when you received that call on Monday night that said, hey, can you come to Boston? What did it feel like to you?
Oh, I was in shock at first. I couldn't believe it. It felt so good. I never went anywhere by myself. So I was like, oh my God, is this a joke? I was half asleep. You know, when Julie woke me up, I couldn't believe it. So then she was like, Cynthia, breathe, breathe. And then that's when she added all the other leaders, a couple other leaders on, and it just became real. She said, you're going to Boston. It felt great. It was wonderful.
I believe it was Marty, Robin, Chris, and I.
Yes, Marty, Chris, Robin.
Yes, we were on the call together, and we were like, Cynthia, breathe, sit down, and packing your bag, going to Boston. It was so awesome just hearing you on the other line. So how did you come to prepare for taking the trip that you said you've never been traveling by yourself? And what was your feeling?
Well, I was a little nervous at first, but then I was more excited. You know, I was just getting my things ready. I just couldn't wait to get there. You know, it was just, I was more excited than anything, you know, till I got to the airport.
For sure.
But yeah, but you know, everything was smooth sailing thanks to Peter.
Yes, absolutely. I noticed that evening when you went to bed, there was no itinerary for you to go on yet. And everyone that was behind the scene made sure that everyone get a ticket to fly to Boston. And thank you, Lord, everything had gone smoothly. And we made it to Boston. When we got to Boston, everyone was sitting around in the airport. And we made a scene there. Tell me about it. What was your reaction? I know you had your little iPad that you walking around with your camera, talking to everybody, yes, taking pictures.
You talking about you and I? Chris was trying to make us pose with one leg in the air without falling. Like we just were doing all kind of crazy things, but it was a lot of fun. It was like a big family reunion. You know, we was just doing all kind of stuff and hugging and kissing, and it just felt like, see, during COVID, you know, you just see everybody on the screen, you know, and that was a chance to just touch everybody. This is Chris. This is Julie. Milo. You know, it was just amazing to really, you know, have everybody. It was like a big reunion.
Absolutely. I love that part of it. You know, when we got to spend a little bit of time at the airport, you know, and waiting till we got our room. So let's go now to, we took our Uber ride. We found out where our hotel was and we took off for the hotel, and we get to the hotel. what was you thinking on the ride, and how did you feel when you walked in and you saw Mr. Ashmafaro for the first time?
I couldn't believe it. It was breathtaking. And when he saw me, he ran to me and picked me up, you know, and then he put me down and he started jumping up and down. You're here, you're here, you're here, you know, clapping his hands and everything. I, I just, he was everything that I imagined. He was fun. He was tall. I didn't know he was that tall, but he just was the sweetest person that, you know, you could ever meet. You know, and he's so calm, cool, and collected, you know, and he treated all of us like royalty. You know, we were his real special people. And it just was beautiful, you know, and to have everybody there with him. And it's just, I couldn't even believe I was there. I still can't.
You
The
were,
Ash- yeah.
go ahead, Cynthia, go
But
ahead.
he was really glad to see me. He just kept hugging me and everything. He was glad to see me. And I was glad to see him.
Absolutely. It was so amazing just to see. I was actually more observing other people, you know, their reactions and the way how I see you, Cynthia, you were such a joy just being there. You know, you're sitting across from the table at the dinner table. You were sitting there and you were just kind of listening in and taking whatever you can at that time just to see what Mr. Ash is saying. And then you walking around the room, you take pictures with this person and that person. You were very warm to meet in person. And I'm just thankful that you greeted me with such a joy, and I appreciate you. You make me feel very comfortable. We were sitting at the table for the first evening dining table with Mr. Ashmore. I know you sat across from him at that time. What was your feeling like? Were you like pinching yourself that you're there hearing this gentleman named Ashmore that you've been
Yes.
listening to the past year? What was it like?
It was surreal. It not only was it surreal, it just to have, you know, to be in his presence. You know, it was Ash Mufaro, you know, the man of this company. It was just so amazing. I was starstruck, you know, I was by all of you, you know, everybody. You know, I was wondering, what did I do to deserve this? And he just treated me so special. I couldn't believe it. I was just starstruck, just looking. Am I really here? Is this really happening? But it really was. And it was truly amazing.
Well, you deserve to be there for sure, Cynthia. And so tell me a little about the food that was served. Did you get anything that you liked, or did you get enough of it? Or
I had the lobster tails. Susie made me eat. She had me eating all kind of crazy stuff, but the caviar, I really didn't like it. But then she showed me how to eat it. She showed me how to put on this little miniature looking toast and then put some white stuff on it. And I ate it all together and it was really good. You know, she was like, see, I told you. With her and Daryl Cook, we were sitting there and Daryl was grabbing everything that came around, you know. But the food was amazing. It was oysters. I didn't eat any of that. I had the lobster bisque. That's one of my favorites.
Right.
So
You
that was
went,
good in the salad.
yes. That was the second evening. The first evening was the lobster tails. And then the second evening was a caviar and oysters and
yes, yeah, I didn't eat all that stuff. It was a little too rich for me, but I did eat the you know, the crab legs and, you know, the soup, the salad, things like that.
that was very good. Now, let's talk about the morning of the global event. I know we all were looking forward to the main event, and we woke up and we were like, okay, what to expect? What were you expecting to
know.
see that day?
I didn't know what to expect at first. I didn't, but I was really nervous. I didn't know what was going to happen. You know, then we were having technical difficulties. I started getting worried uh, that, you know, my family wasn't going to see it, but it was so amazing to see how cool Ash was even when we had technical difficulties. I've never seen a man like him, though. He has everything together. But it was, I didn't know what to expect, but I just knew it was going to be something really, really big, really great. And then when I saw where we were, I can't believe that we really are at the top in Dubai.
So, Cynthia, I was sitting next to you, and I'm glad I was, because you supplied me with Kleenexes and stuff.
Yes.
But tell us a little about the section of Oh Blessed. Tell me how that affected you and what you thought when we went with that.
Well, that affected me a lot because that's something that I always wanted to do, and to see on Pastor really starting it to kick it off, you know, I cried. It really touched me because we're actually going to do that in all parts of the world. We're going to have our hands in that. And it was just truly amazing to see that people are, you know, actually getting fed by us, you know. It was amazing. I loved it. It was touching.
It was very emotional meeting in that room where
And everybody was crying.
yes, there was no dry eye in the room. And then you know, the main event, you know, the main show coming in from Dubai. Did you expect that to happen?
No, I did not. No, I didn't. No. And I couldn't figure out why he kept saying penguins, but now I know.
You know, at the very beginning when I was watching the pre-show, right, where the music and the building, to be honest with you, I had no clue where it was. I've never seen the building. What about you? Did you expect, or what running through your mind, or was just kind of like, okay, what's going on? What was running through your mind at that time?
I know a little bit about Dubai, but when I saw that we were actually there, man, it's the most prestigious place in the world. It's like royalty being in Dubai, you know, and we're actually there at the top, very top. It's amazing.
Yes, for sure. And when he was talking about, we own 130.
We own the top floor, 134 and 151.
Were you proud?
Yes, I was. Was I proud? Man, we are really at the top. And that's no joke. We are in the highest building of the world, on the highest floor.
Absolutely.
Like you can see the clouds under your feet when you go up there.
Cynthia, I'm sure I've watched your story. You know, in fact, I listened to your story when you told it the first time. And I'm sure you think back to your dad telling you and tell me a little about how you feel about that part of it.
Say that again.
You know, how your dad actually kind of brought you into it, said, honey, you need
to. Oh yeah, my dad
was. How do you feel?
I feel blessed. I feel so blessed. Thank God that he put me in it. My dad was dying, and he just so happened to hear it. He was praying out loud, and then he stopped and he heard me playing it, and he wanted to hear it. So when he heard Ash's voice, he said it was something about his voice, you know. And then the next day, when he wanted to hear what One Pastor was all about, he was like, "You have to get in this," you know. And when he put me in it, I was secured. So my family is taken care of, and I'm I'm so, it was so many emotions when I was in that room that, you know, that I'm here. My dad did all of this. Thanks to him. You know, I'm blessed.
Absolutely. Watching the event happen and thinking back of when Dad said you got to be in this, did you feel the presence? Did you feel your dad's presence at that time when you feel so blessed? And did you say thank Dad for, you know, getting me in this? And I believe your dad bought the position for you, wasn't
Yes,
he?
he did. He bought it for me, and I didn't pay attention to it then because he was sick. And you know, even after he put me in it, he got sicker. But I was, you know, I was happy that he did it. I was glad. I was like, you know, very happy because he said, this, you're going to be set for life. He said, set and forget it. I didn't pay attention to it until a year later, you know, and then I really knew. I was like, wow, this is really something, and you know, that we stumbled on. And I know that my family is going to be taken care of for life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I feel really proud and blessed.
That was awesome. And then we talked a little bit about the following night or after the show, you know, the food and stuff, which was just tremendous. But, you know, I think a lot of us got to that point where, you know, we already knew it, you know, because our minds and our hearts are going with what Mr. Ash says. And like we always say on the show, you know, On Passive is changing the world one person at a time. And it started with Mr. Ash Mafaro, but it continues through us. And I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see that, you know, the leaders do that and that they share with people, you know, and they let them know. I think that's important to do that. What do you think?
Yes, I do think it's important, you know, that we share because we can continue to do the work, you know. Now we can get out there and really just do some good, you know, all over the world because we're a big family now, you know, and it's amazing. We can just with a push of a button, we can really save somebody's life. This company is amazing.
Absolutely. It was such a pleasure meeting you and seeing you and see how you enjoying yourself at the event. And I know deep down in your heart, you do appreciate what Ash is doing for all of us. If he was here, what would you say to Ash?
I love this company. I do. It's something that keeps me going. You know, even when I'm sad, I just pick it up. It just makes me happy automatically. I love On Passive. I eat it, I sleep it, and I dream it. I thank you so much, Ash, for this because this is really a blessing and it's going to change the world. One person at a time, just like Milo said. It's a beautiful company and it's going to bring peace on the world because we're from all walks of life. And just to see all of us sitting at that table, it was like a beautiful flower. That's what we look like when we're on, you know, the webinars. We look like a beautiful flower because we're from everywhere. And that's what I like about On Passive. And I appreciate everything that you've done for me, my family, and what you're doing for humanity. I'm impressed.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. It's so fun to see people come together. It don't matter your color, your skin. It don't matter where you're from. It don't matter what your religion belief is. It doesn't matter what your political belief is. None of that matters. It's all about on passive. How are we going to help the world? How are we going to step up our game? How are we going to help people? You know, Cynthia, I'd like to thank you for coming today. We're getting close on time, but I'd like to thank you for coming today and sharing your thoughts with us and your time. And just so thankful that I know you, that you say Uncle Marlon, that makes me feel
Uncle
good.
Milo.
And that makes me feel good, you know, niece. So, but anyway, I just from day one, I remember when we first started how in any of our webinars, the first person to comment was always Cynthia Brown, Cynthia Brown, Cynthia Brown. I said to Julie, who is this Cynthia Brown? And we started searching you out and looking you up. And I appreciate all you've done for us and keeping it real, keeping it real. You know, we love you, man. Back to you, Julie.
Thank you, Milo. Absolutely. I so agree with what Milo said. You were the first supporter of Julie and Milo's show, and you always have been really kind and so supportive for our show, and especially for me. You're such a true friend, and I love it. I see your smile when I met you and your hug. It was just really, truly appreciated, Cynthia. Thank you so much for
You're welcome.
joining us today with such a short time notice. And you just said, yes, I'll be there. I really appreciate you. Any last words, Cynthia, that you'd like to say to Mr. Ash or the viewers?
This is real. This is a beautiful business. The door is getting ready to close. So, you know, we really don't need any more founders, but, you know, there is a little window open. This is real. Get in it, get your family in it, secure their lives. Thank you, Ash, for everything. Thank you, Julie, Milo, everybody, and Curtis, Uncle Curtis. I really appreciate you all for all you do.
Thank you,
Thank
Cynthia. You are the superstar, and I want you to know that because of all the questions that you came up, that you asked, all the great ideas that you gave on webinars, and also for the things that you are doing behind the scene. There you have it, everyone. It's Cynthia Brand, our lovely sister, that I and Milo have such an opportunity to meet with her, get to know Cynthia. And if you really resonate and if your heart felt what Cynthia is sharing with us today, please get back with the person who shared this message with you and say, you know what, I just want to be with Cynthia. I want to be here and I'm passive. I want to get to know Cynthia. And, you know, Cynthia's story is in our channel as well. And if you're watching this, please make sure that you subscribe and click the bell so that you can get notified when we have one of these videos come out. Thank you so much, Cynthia. And thank you for watching, viewers. Because of you, we're able to do this every single day. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night,
Very
everyone.
welcome.
Good night from Orange County, California.
Good night from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Good night from Nashville.
The stories and how they tell when they joined another doing so well. Telling